Other news tonight, officials of the Abaco subcommittee on shantytowns have been assessing the Mud and Pigeon Peak communities of Marsh Harbor since two fires hit the area earlier this year. Meantime, residents continue to live in relative normalcy. Altavi's Munnings has this report from Marsh Harbor.
Our first stop at the Mud and Marsh Harbor Abaco is the scene of the second fire that happened here earlier this year. Officials tell us that residents are still continuing to live a normal life despite the damage from the fire. We can also tell you that they're also living with the necessary amenities and they're getting it to the best of their ability. We understand that there's a generator house, it's right here next to me, where several wires are connected to ensure that residents of the Mud have power. Sources tell us that a makeshift cesspit and water pipes lie right next to that generator house. We also learned that residents in the Mud reportedly pay a minimal fee for power and rent a week. When we drove through the community Wednesday morning, there were still remnants from the first fire visible. We saw some homes in the Mud with numerical identification, as well as leisure spots for residents to enjoy. Some of the residents we spoke with have called the Mud home for almost 30 years.
It's bloody famous in the back here. It's no, Asians, no immigrants in the back here.
The Abaco Shantytown Subcommittee, headed by Senior Deputy Family Island Administrator for Central Abaco, Maxine Duncombe, is working hard, though, to fulfill the government's intention of transforming shantytowns nationwide. Besides Ministry of Works officials soon evaluating homes that are built to code, no construction signs have already been erected on the site of the first fire in the Mud.
So now we are moving into the second phase, where we are beginning to talk with the pastors and the stakeholders so that, they could reach out to their communities, to the people there, and say to them, this is what it is that we are trying to do. This is the objective, that the enumerators will be coming. We will be taking information to determine exactly the number of people who live in those various towns that we have just described.
But after assessing the current shantytowns on the island of Abaco, Senior Deputy Administrator Duncombe revealed that even more communities were discovered.
I wouldn't say that they are brand new. It is just that I was not aware of them. And I think that one has been identified in Hopetown or Elbow Key. I've had persons who have come up to me, and the major concerns from the wider community is the health and safety issue that many of these communities present to the wider community.
I try to leave, right, to go back where I come from. I know it, but I come from Utah. But I can tell you the truth, I get back home.
Reporting from the Mud and Marsh Harbor, Abaco, I'm Altavi's Munnings, ZNS Network News.